got very friendly and
I
we've
know.
had like
Some great chats.
Great chats,
Yeah.
and we had such a good time during promotion.
Remember, we all stepped out for dinner in Bombay. It felt so warm and wonderful that we had like a Devra, Brahmastra war kind of a coming together. And it was like we all had dinner at this restaurant that was seating only 12 and we were 12 of us. And it just felt like everyone knew each other from way back.
No, I'm going to tell you one story.
Huh.
Because this also happened, since we're here, because this is Devra ka Jigra, Devra into Jigra. This is some sort of crossover love that we're sharing with
I
each
really want to
other.
know, who announced the title first? Jigra or Devra?
Devra.
I think it was Devra.
Yeah. Then came in Jigra.
Then came in Jigra. I think we put on the unit. Devra already had it.
But that's actually a nice coincidence, sir. When you have an R and R.
Yeah.
Devra, Jigra sounds like each other, and then we were also coming in the same window. Who would have imagined?
Exactly.
But I'm saying this love started with Tarak very graciously coming to the Brahmastra, sort of press meet.
Yes.
In Hyderabad, and there was, I remember I was fully pregnant at that time, and Tarak was like, yeah, we'll do the event, but then after that you all have to come to my house for dinner.
Yeah.
And we had such a warm evening on that terrace. I remember eating dinner and like chatting, and that was the first time that we actually discussed possible baby names in front of everybody. I remember. Then Veer and I were like, if it's a girl, it'll be this. If it's a boy, it'll be this. And we were all like, raising our glass to like.
So was Raha the name discussed that night?
We discussed.
Yes,
we had names picked out.
And I started praying. I wish it was Raha. I wish it was
He's
Raha.
like,
I wish it is Raha. And finally,
what a
finally
beautiful name. What a beautiful name. You know what I find absolutely intriguing about movie stars, specifically in the brand of cinema that you have done and across decades now, is that there is a kind of fine line between always projecting movie stardom and yet giving that performance. And I think you've done that effortlessly, always. That you've not only considered one of the biggest movie stars, but also an absolutely terrific actor. Now, do you have to kind of straddle that at times, that you know that you are also an artist, you're giving your all, your heart, your emotion to that scene, but there is a certain perception of how you have to be, a larger-than-life persona that has to always penetrate through celluloid. Is there always like that tussle within you, or is just in your DNA to just be the way you are, and then it comes out all effortlessly?
I think it's very natural, sir, for any actor. The moment you start calculating, your image versus your want.
Yeah.
I don't think they can ever gel together.
Yeah.
Because I've seen this multiple times in my career. So I've said this many a times that there was this point where this whole image, this whole want of fans and what they want, it was very strenuous for me as an actor. And then I can
imagine.
Yeah, I just couldn't straight. I mean, like, think straight. So that's when Abhay happened, my first child, and something about that experience of being a father has made me become naive all over again. And I think for an actor, what's the most important thing is that how do you become naive? How do you disown or unknow things? Because at that moment when you have to perform, I really think that you don't need to experience it.
Yeah.
Right? You haven't ever experienced it, but how do you deliver it? For that, I think there needs to be a lot of naiveness in an actor. And that